What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, as always, is a little brother Jace. We got my man Jay King and the one and only Chief. How you guys doing?
We are swell.
Excellent. So, Warner Brothers is not really doing so excellent right now. There's a huge super leak about this proposed Flashpoint movie. I say proposed because they may be trying to find a gigantic size Phantom Zone projector to dump this movie into. And I like to start this off by saying I watched, or I'm still watching, Man of Steel. And I'm at the point now where he and Lois are about to leave Zod's ship and it's about to really be on. And I'm just thinking, this movie's pretty entertaining. I like it. I do still disagree with the whole, because I feel like Superman still would have been like, whatever, I'm going to go save my daddy. But beyond that, I like the movie. And I feel like at that point, DC, Warner Brothers was at a crossroads. And if there was the worst directions to take with the franchise, they were just like, go that way. But maybe we should let Zack just tell the story. No. Go this way. But maybe, no. We're just going to hatchet these movies and hope for the best. Why aren't our movies making as much money as Marvel Studios? If only we knew. If only someone out there could tell us why that is. And I feel like in previous episodes, I was advocating for Jeff Johns, a outstanding comic book writer, to be the Kevin Feige of the DC Extended Universe. That's not the case. He's not the guy he is not the guy. He's not at all. And it was brought to light even more with the rumors of what's going down in Flashpoint. This is the Ezra Miller, let's shake everything up that people care about for these DC movies and let's just hope for the best. So with these rumors, I want to make sure that this is understood. This is not fact. This is just the word on the street. But the word on the street is not very good. And based off what DC is trying to do anyway, I tend to think that maybe some of this is true. Maybe not 100%, but probably too much to be excited about. So in Flashpoint, Michael Shannon's Zod is coming back. Oh, Chief, yes. Listen, Chief. I need you to find that mute button and just unmute yourself. I'm going to say a bunch of things and I just want your straight up, what? Huh? That's stupid. And then I'll give you the floor to give your full thoughts on it. Because you, my friend, I have a sneaky suspicion you're going to have lots of thoughts on this. All right. So Michael Shannon is back. And in Flashpoint, Zod is going to successfully kill Michael Keaton's Batman and Supergirl. And the rumor is he's going to snap Supergirl's neck way worse than Superman did to Zod. And because you're going, well, what about Superman? What is he going to do in all this? Zod is going to go back into time and kill Superman as a baby. All right. So he's done. Then, from this trailer, we've got two Flashes running around. Pun intended. The future Flash and present day Flash, who's run with the Justice League. Future Flash is going to be racing Flash because he wants to kill Barry. Because he doesn't want to die. Because if there's one multiverse, then the other Flash is going to die. And so this race is going to take them throughout the multiverse, where they're going to see Robert Pattinson's Batman. They're going to see Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. They're going to see Adam West Batman and Grant Gustin's Flash. Fiora's still going to be alive because she and Zod are going to be running this thing, apparently. And after Flash wipes out everything that you've cared about in the DC Extended Universe, this new timeline is going to start with Green Lantern, Zatanna, and Batgirl. Iris only has a cameo in this movie. And Chief has left us. And in a sign of protest, apparently against Lyles Movie Files. So I didn't come up with all this. I didn't say this was my proposed script. This is apparently the script that's going down in Flashpoint. And this is what people are going to see when they see this movie. And I'm feeling, just from the rumors of that script, no one is going to leave this movie happy. Javon, how about you? Are you going to be happy watching this?
I'm going to say this, Jeff. If this is all true, this is the equivalent of watering your garden with cat piss and wondering why nothing grows.
No, it is like watering your lawn with gasoline, lighting the match, and wondering, why is there no grass? This is crazy. Let's fire all the people who made people care about this franchise. Let's get rid of Henry Cavill. Let's get rid of Ben Affleck. So, Chief, tell me, good sir, what do you think about this report?
Someone over there is eating well. And what happens when you eat? Take a shit. And someone is taking a shit over all of this whole franchise, man. And not just, you know what I mean? Like, you ordered the 40-ounce tomahawk, and then you ordered all the sides a la carte. You know what I mean? When you walked out of that steakhouse that night, the bill was $400, and it was just you. And the next day you put in work. And I feel like that's what DC is doing at this time, man. Putting in work. Just going in there and being like, yo, y'all use the bathroom upstairs for the rest of the day. The Flashpoint joint. Listen, man, I don't even know why. I'm not even sure, man. I'm not even sure what can you say, man? I mean, I'm even going to see more Morbius. You know what I mean? And I know it, you know, and I know DC movies are even less than that. I went and saw Batman because it's Batman. I had some folks with me and they wanted to see Batman. Let's go see Batman. You know what I mean? Batman reminded me of, you remember was it the Wedding Crashers?
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn,
of course.
And
I'm familiar. Yeah. I'm familiar with it.
The dude who wanted to sleep with Vince Vaughn, the brother of the girl he liked.
Yes.
He had that weird haircut, like the kind of, and that's who Batman reminded me of. Remember the guy? He was because right. So the whole family was trying to sleep with all of them basically, and he had that weird haircut, and he came in the room and it was like, and he tried to sleep with Vince Vaughn. That's that guy. That's who Batman was. And every time I saw him, he had that weird, like, boom. And then he was just like, and I was like, oh, that's the dude from Wedding Crashers. You know what I mean? He's 130 pounds. Catwoman was 100 pounds, minus 50. And they were beating on people this whole movie. And all I could see was the size of Batman, the size of Catwoman, knocking out people 150 pounds bigger than them. And then now, fast forward, and then I come to this podcast, Viles Movie Files, and then you hit me with this Flashpoint garbage, and you know what I mean? Like the rain outside isn't depressing enough. You hit me with more goobity goop. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's goobity goop. You know what I mean? And the fact that now, so there's no more Henry. He's out. We're gonna kill Superman as an infant. And I feel like when he kills Superman, he's just killing the DC franchise. He might as well just choke the shit out of the whole DC thing, man. Like, I can kill DC. Because that's what he's representing, man, at this point. I'm going to kill DC. We didn't have a Supergirl movie, but he killed her. Right? I mean, like, all the things that makes... And over Flash? Over a Flash movie? You know what I mean? You couldn't put something better on the plate for something like this to happen? Nobody cared about Flash. Nobody cared about Cyborg. And it seems like we're getting a Flash movie, right? You took Affleck out. We're getting a Flash movie that nobody cared about. The only thing next, man, is, I don't know. What's the green guy's name?
Martian Manhunter.
Be on the Teen Titans.
Beast Boy?
Yeah. All we need now is a Beast Boy movie. Just to top it off, man. Something else we don't care about. Beast Boy. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense, man. The franchise, I don't even know. There's no plan. They're just running around there, man, in the offices. You know what I mean? I think, just, oh, man, what would be good? What would be good, man? We'll have a flashpoint, and then they'll, he'll come back. Zod will come back, man, and he'll just start killing everybody.
Chief, Chief, nah. See, they would come up with something creative if they were on coke. Now, I feel like they would have come up with a whole franchise that made some coherent sense. They would have just tried to do 10 movies in a year. It would have been hopped up, but this is foolishness. And they've continued to... They excel at stupidity, and I'm just kind of feeling like if they locked us in a room for, like a Westin or something, put us up for the weekend, we could crank out a decade's worth of great DC content, because DC has so much stuff. Like, they can go toe to toe, and I'm not sure which side would come out better if they had some competent people guiding a DC franchise universe, not going, let's throw this against the wall. Hey, you guys in Justice League United, you can't have Aquaman anymore because we got an Aquaman movie or TV show. We don't even know what we're doing, but you can't use them. So they've always done this stupid, we can't have anything connected because we don't know what we're doing, but you can't do something that people have enjoyed right now.
You can't use Amanda Waller because we're probably going to use her in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, maybe.
So kill her off in Arrow. Yeah.
And kill off Deadshot too, because we don't want to confuse people with Will Smith, who would have just slapped people instead of using bullets with the guy on Arrow. I'm not sorry for it because, it's just, I didn't slap him.
Yo, don't do that downstairs bathroom. DC is in it.
No, DC doesn't have the decency to go to the downstairs bathroom. They're literally doing it in the main hall bathroom where everybody's gonna walk by. Right. You're like, and what? Like, no.
Can we get a courtesy flush?
Nah, with the door open. With the door open.
They're not doing this in a bathroom. They're taking a shit on the kitchen counter. The Thanksgiving dinner.
Right, they're on the turkey. It's on the turkey right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's ready for a good meal. Hold on real fast.
On the Christmas tree and the presents. Like they got drunk and threw up on the presents under the tree at the Christmas party. They don't care.
I can't believe this is true, man. I really can't believe this is true.
I mean, I don't know how much is true, but I kind of feel like knowing what they've done to this movie universe, that literally should be a no-brainer. Like, all you have to do is go, hey, it looks like they're building to the Avengers. Maybe we should do something too. Nah, it's all right. Let's just let Chris finish up his Batman movie.
Here's just like, based on this rumor, it's just like, Flashpoint by itself is a complicated story that only can be built knowing Barry's story. Just throwing this together, it's like, you're not going to have critics like it, just straight up. Like, you based on the premise, critics are going to hate this because it's convoluted and makes no sense. Fans are going to hate it because it's convoluted and makes no sense, and you're killing off people that they maybe didn't like, but they just said, hey, just make a better script. We like the actors. Just make a better script and story, and we'll get behind it. Or don't chop the whole thing to be danged. No, you're not doing that. Oh, and we're going to have some of the movies that probably are going to come out later, but they're actually going to be based on the old timeline because we're stupid. And then we're probably going to have a post-credit screen trying to explain none of that happened. And then you're going to ask your paying customers in 2025 or whenever The Rock actually decides to try and salvage the DC franchise, you're going to ask us to try and pay $30 to come watch DC movies. You're out of your frugal mind.
I don't even want to see that. I don't give a damn about the Black Adam movie. I don't even want to see it. Who cares anymore? Look, just give me, DC Universe will just give me Peacemaker because that's the only thing they seem to have gotten right. And I'll be fine with that.
But who's to say? I mean, the truth is, like, if Peacemaker has a character that we think we may use in a future property, we're going to take that character property, get rid of him, And then, oh, well, we might want to use John Cena again in some other Suicide Squad, so maybe we shouldn't do that Suicide show anymore. Yeah, let's fold him into the Suicide Squad movies. So we need to get rid of that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Is Isaiah Thomas running Warner Brothers Studios?
No. I won't even let you put Isaiah on this. Isaiah was just you know what? I'm a Hall of Famer. There's nobody associated with these properties that's a Hall of Fame at anything outside of ruining franchises. How do you mess up?
They own the Hall of Fame. Seriously?
How do you mess up this franchise?
How do you mess up? I mean, again, I didn't like Man of Steel when he killed Zod. Like, I thought that was always the point where it's like everybody should have basically said, hey, he's a threat. We need to work to kill him. Like, whatever he says, he could kill all of us. So we do need a Lex Luthor to basically come up with an actual counterpunch to him. Like, that was what should have happened. Like, you shouldn't have had to worry about Apocalypse and all that because everyone should have been afraid of him based on him killing Zod. But they could always, it's like, that was a bad decision. That was a bad call. Somebody should have stopped that when you saw it made.
I will continue to argue you on this point because Zod was running crazy. He was trashing Metropolis. Superman is like, yo, I have been a superhero all of 5 minutes. I don't know what I'm doing. I just finally figured out how to fly and all this stuff because my dad had me on the punk superhero training montage program. I don't know what I'm doing. But what I do know, I can stop this dude by snapping his neck. And he's about to kill this nice looking family here. So let me do the only thing that I know how to do. And I can go along with him being inexperienced and not knowing what to do and killing Zod because, listen, I don't have access to a Phantom Zone projector. Like, that could have been a workaround. They could have just been like, hey, let's make a new Phantom Zone projector. That's something that they could have done, but they didn't. So I don't have a problem with it in the context of that movie. And Zack Snyder's movies are a little darker than they need to be, but they were okay. They were fine. They were different. I enjoyed his universe, but for whatever reason, Warner Brothers is like, nah, we don't want this. We want more movies like the Joker.
Warner Brothers couldn't figure out what the hell they wanted because it's like they wanted to be different than Marvel, so they gave a guy who has a knack for making violent, darker movies than Avengers. You gave him the keys. You knew where he was going to drive you. So you can't act like you didn't know what was going on. So you got exactly the property, and then like, no, well, audiences don't like it. It's because you chopped up the daggone movie. Because again, if you put Batman versus Superman in the 3-hour-long cut, no one hates that movie. Because it's actually a full story. And you could build from that. But you decided, oh, we know so much better. And we're going to screw it up. And then wonder, once again, why doesn't people gravitate to the movie? Because you didn't give them a story to go to. And then you exacerbate the problem once again by, hey, I'll say, at the very least, Justice League wasn't a full movie before you decided to, you know.
One other thing. David Ayer was like, yeah, they hacked up my movie too. Now, I don't know if DC Warner Brothers decided to insert the main bad guy and make her a gypsy dancer twirling around with bad CGI. Maybe that wasn't David Ayer's decision, but I feel like that wasn't good either way. Now, the one good thing about Suicide Squad, the Ayers movie, was the interaction between the Suicide Squad, which is why I like James Gunn's version, because he captured that and then went a little bit more comic book style with it. But I'm sure his version of the movie is better than what we saw too. It's just he didn't have the fan base to get an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad release. But yeah, the Justice League version is trash, and we saw from the full version how much better
What's that movie? Be Kind, Please Rewind, Jeff.
Yeah. They gave us the Swede version of all
the Swede, right?
The Zack Snyder films. Let's Swede it. What? No, don't do that.
Let's Swede.
Yeah,
we got the Swede.
Let's CGI Henry Cavill's mustache off.
We got the Swedish version.
That's exactly what they did.
The funny thing about it is Henry Cavill is proven correct by not shaving his mustache. He's like, I think I have more life in Mission Impossible than I do in this Justice League franchise.
Even if they kill me off,
gonna shave my mustache.
even if they kill me off, I'm gonna have more life than I will with these idiots.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's so difficult to watch this franchise do what it does when the blueprint has been laid out.
Yeah.
You have the blueprint. You have a successful model in front of you that you're watching. All you have to do is just follow it.
Right. Hey, Chief.
You know what I mean?
It's like whichever one came first, Uber or Lyft. They didn't go, oh man, we can't do this ride share thing because Uber or Lyft got to it first. They're like, nah, we'll do our own version. You see like 30 different betting commercials from 30 different betting companies. Nobody was like, nah, we can't do it because DraftKings is here first. Bump that. Everybody's like, we can do our own version.
The DC, everybody on the scooters.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who the first scooter was in there riding around the city.
Exactly.
Go through there's hundreds of scooters on every corner.
Exactly. On the sidewalks because nobody wants them anymore. And Warner Brothers like, nah, let's come up with unicycles because nobody's on unicycles.
They won't be stupid.
The model was there, yo. All you had to do was follow it.
I mean, like seriously, all you had to do is like, okay, who did Marvel come out with first? Is their first superhero? Iron Man. Who is our kind of guy we could use similar to Iron Man? Batman. Oh, okay. So
he's
who would
even
be
better
the
than
next one
Iron
after
Man. He's so much better. Like they had the name recognition of all these characters. You asked Joe Blow on the street, who in 2007, name me 10 superheroes. They will probably give you Wolverine, give you Spider-Man, and then the rest are going to be DC characters. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman,
Batman, Wonder Woman,
Catwoman,
done.
Robin.
And it's like, so from there, all right, who do we build? Who's the next one we build on? Okay, if it's not going to be Wonder Woman, it's Superman. Okay, then who would be your next one? Flash. All right, who's your next one? Cyborg. If you think you're building this profile, and then you make your Avengers level movie, and then so forth and so forth and so forth. Like
you go to big three, right? So the big three in cars. What is it? The Audi. It's BMW, it's Mercedes, right? The big three, your foreign choice. You got big three in sodas, Coke, Pepsi, and so you got your big three there. So all you got to do is do your big three, right? Marvel had Iron Man, Captain America, and who's the other guy that came out? The Hulk.
And that's not even their big three. Like the big three of Marvel is so far below the big three of DC by a large margin. And for
Marvel
somehow
couldn't even use their big three.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Marvel couldn't even use it because of Fox.
You can rotate off of that and you can get your stories. You can
absolutely.
rotate off of Wonder Woman, you can rotate off of Superman, you can rotate off of Batman. You rotated off of Iron Man, you rotated off of Captain America, you rotated Thor. It was also Thor. So you rotated off of those characters, right? And then boom, and you brought them together. Yo, we're just jumping around on some Forrest Gump like a feather. Just kind of like a breeze is just blowing us around, kind of just we end up where we are. You know what I mean? It landed on Frogman. Frogman Part 1. You're like, yo, what are y'all doing with this joint? Everything is being crazy with these dudes. I mean, think about it. We waited 2 years, bro, for 1984. Can you get that, man? When you know what I mean? You might go somewhere for Thanksgiving. Maybe you got an aunt who be stepping in the greens, right? And you be like, damn, I can't wait. But just as you get there, your aunt didn't go there, and her daughter got the greens, but she done threw 50 ounces of salt. So you ready for these greens, and you just God, what the hell? You know what I mean? Get your mouth all ready for the greens, and they just salty. You know, you take a bite, and the next thing you know, you're sipping your damn drink all night.
Well, they made us salty after we watched Wonder Woman 84. So your analogy is dead on. Javon, what were we about to say?
Chief, I'm with you, but instead of salt, this idiot put marshmallows in things. Like, that's what they're doing. Like, they look at. I understand too much salt in the recipe, but they're winging it completely here. They're like saying, marmalade, molasses. We'll throw that in the greens.
Raisins.
They're like
raisins.
Hey, it looks like no recipe calls for this in the greens. It's okay. We'll do that.
Like, they had the blueprint. They got the blueprint. Marvel's blueprint was so successful, they started throwing movies like the Ant-Man out there.
And have people excited to see
Ant-Man
them.
is actually, I'm sorry, is Ant-Man more successful than most of the DC franchise movies?
They've had 3 sequels.
Exactly. Right? Which is 2 more than Man of Steel, Green Lantern, Steel, Catwoman, a Ben Affleck Batman, which makes no sense because these movies should be made. And they were dumb because in that wide open Wild West period where you could just throw your superhero movie out there and nobody cared, they were like, yo, let's do a Catwoman movie with Halle Berry. Let's do that. Yo, let's do Jonah Hex. Everybody's lining up for Jonah Hex. Everybody's checking for him. Oh, let's do a Superman movie where he's a stalker and an absent baby daddy. Or let's do let's do Green Lantern, but cast the worst possible cast for Green Lantern. A funny guy who's great at being funny. But he's not Hal Jordan. He ain't smooth like that. Let's cast him. Let's throw in some crappy CGI. And then, oh man, that didn't work. Who knew? We'll have him fight a gas cloud. Nobody was checking for that. Oh, okay, well, I guess there's no interest in Green Lantern. Let's never do Green Lantern again in a movie. And they learned all the wrong lessons for every movie. So when it came time, when they threw Iron Man out there, DC was like, huh. And DC and Warner Brothers was, I'm sure nothing will come out of that. Everybody raved about it. They raved about that. They raved about the second one. When Thor came out, that's when they should have been like, wait. They're really doing this thing.
If they had a plan.
Right.
And
they stuck to the plan.
It manifested itself.
They stuck to the plan. Because Hulk wasn't like well received to the point where people were like, oh man, let's get more Hulk movies. It was like, all right, whatever. But they still stuck with it. They threw in Robert Downey Jr. like, hey, listen, these movies are linked together. Pay attention. And they were like, oh, but DC Comics was all about the crossovers with Batman and Superman, Robin, hanging out in a book. Hey, look, Green Lantern, the Flash are best friends. Green Arrow, Green Lantern, hang out. They're traveling down the road. They've got a serious main level A-lister version of the Justice League. They've got a funny version of the Justice League filled with great characters. They've got all kinds of other stuff. They've got a team full of sidekicks that's so good it was as popular as Marvel's top-selling book, The X-Men, during the 80s. Let's do any of these things. Nah, let's just let Christopher Nolan do 2 more movies of his Batman and not do anything else. And hope for the best.
I mean, again, like, just going by that, Jeff, like, they could have actually done Justice League International instead of actually doing Doom Patrol. Like, you could have, and built from there. But no, we don't want to do that. We're again going obscure. We don't have a cachet and fan love of Marvel, but we're gonna act like we do and then be mad when stuff doesn't work.
And do dumb stuff like putting Cyborg in Doom Patrol. Like, wait, we have Cyborg in Justice League. Now let's put another one in Doom Patrol to confuse people who are like, wait, why is this guy here and he's there too? Instead of just making one universe.
This is the biggest problem they have, right? Marvel versus DC, when it came to the mapping out of their universe on film, Marvel had a plan, and they cast it, and they wrote these films. They actually had a vision board of what they would do.
We want to make billion-dollar movies.
That are actually good, right? It's more. This is the thing I think DC bargained on, their name, right? And
Absolutely.
The success
Yep.
of the Nolan films. That's all we got to do. If Christopher Nolan can turn this Batman franchise into what he did, then we're golden. We'll be just fine. They didn't map anything out. It really shows with what they've produced over the last 10 years. It's a mess.
And it was so
There's
funny,
no way to
Javon.
fix it.
They were like, let's just focus on Christopher Nolan's films and never pay anything off. Let's not do a Joseph Gordon-Levitt version of Batman and have him do his thing, because it's set up perfectly in Dark Knight Rises. Even if Nolan didn't want to do any more Batman films, they could have done that. They could have put him in with Henry Cavill, because I was watching Dark Knight Rises right before I watched Man of Steel, and I was like, you know what, that could have worked. But they were like, nope, that's a totally separate thing. And they held the Nolan films as this sterling, shining example of what they needed to do without going, maybe we should do something different. Because people are enjoying these.
Here's the thing, though. Like you said, Nolan left that blueprint out there, and that the Batman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's first year as the Batman, which would have been a really interesting movie, right?
Right.
They dropped the ball again completely. It's like they never, like we said, they didn't plan any of this out and just kept throwing movies out there, and so hopefully something sticks. That's not it. And let me ask you this: do you think this will ever be repaired? Can it ever be repaired?
I don't think it can.
Can I disagree slightly?
I'll go for it, bro.
They actually did have a plan. It was the Zack Snyder verse, and then they crapped on it. Like, that should have mean that was the plan. We should be seeing possibly the introduction or a movie having Darkseid actually in it that wasn't made last year. We should be seeing.
You're right. The real problem was they made Man of Steel and said, okay, let's fast forward 10 movies and get to Batman fighting Superman. And it's like, okay, but why the heck are they fighting already? And we haven't even seen Batman. Why is he already fighting Superman? Like, that should have been built up. And they were like, yo, this is going to be just as good as the last Thor movie. And the Thor movie was like, nah, dude, we're better because we've been building Thor up and people are invested in Thor. And they knock out Civil War and it's like people cared. They took side. They chose a side. I'm Team Cap. I'm Team Iron Man. Nobody was on Team Superman. I'm Team Batman. It was like,
again,
okay.
And also the fact you couldn't be on Team Batman because you didn't see the daggone story.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's beside. I mean, I'm a harp on that again because there's. I mean, Warner Brothers again, like in DC, like I said, they basically said, "Hey, our name is going to carry us through." Now, as a stockholder of certain companies, I know that is not the case. So these guys are just like, "Hey, can we get to the point where we almost run our company into the ground like Marvel did in, let's say, before the Blade movies came out?" Because that's where we're going to have to take it. Because we need to get to the point where none of our properties are valuable. Comic book people do not buy our books and maybe go into bankruptcy. And maybe somebody can resurrect this whole thing to actually make it an actual viable bunch of properties.
I'll start saving pennies because I can figure out a plan in a half hour about how to make a good DC universe. Chief, you look like you're stewing over there. What you thinking?
Hey, I don't, there was never a plan to me. I mean, I don't even think they care, man. I think it is what it is, man. They want to do, it's like they want to do the version of the movie them and like their frat friends. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like they're in there like, yeah, what would I like to see?
What would I like to see today? Next week it may be totally different.
I'm just. So, what was the last Batman movie with Christian Bale? What was that?
Dark Knight Rises. That was Chief. All right, tell you what. That's a nice, excellent segue to the next part. But before we get there, this whole mess with Warner Brothers may be circling the drain anyway, because Ezra Miller is in so much hot water that Warner Brothers apparently had to call a meeting to figure out what the heck they're going to do. Because Ezra was chilling up in Hawaii. He didn't like a couple singing of a Lady Gaga song from A Star Is Born and started harassing and threatening them. They were a little bit worried. So they arrested Miller. A couple that Ezra was staying with bailed Ezra out. Gosh. And Ezra then decided to threaten that couple, saying that Ezra would burn them and steal their valuables. The couple filed a restraining order against Ezra Miller because Ezra Miller has access to their home and weapons. So they're afraid of him, or of Ezra.
That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even sound scary.
It's what it is. But this is on top of the whole Ezra thinking that Ezra Miller is a Darth Sith apprentice and force choking people earlier. So now they're trying to figure out what to do going forward with Ezra Miller films, which is a problem because Ezra's. I should insert the toilet sound right now, right? So of course that's two of their biggest franchises because oops, we got the Fantastic Beasts franchise and whatever ashes is left of the DC universe.
Hey Jeff, Ezra Miller's coming over to fight you today. Like, you'd be like, what time should I be outside?
Didn't it time for them to just say Ezra Miller is working through some mental health issues? Because it's like, I mean, like when the video came out with him choking the girl in the store, it was like, what are you guys doing? Like, how is this not fired? Huh?
He's choking a girl?
Yeah, like
there's a video where Ezra grabs Ezra pulls a straight up Undertaker Big Show cane, grabs the throat, takes the lady down, like she's walking over to Ezra. Ezra takes her by the throat and then takes her down to the floor outside of the choke slam. But it's bad.
That wasn't a joke. It was not playing. It was literally like the lady was like, "What the heck just happened?" Like they did these. Warner Brothers took no action against this guy. We talked about that many podcasts ago. Like, wait, we saw that. Like, how are you guys acting like you didn't see? And it might be because he's in Fantastic Beasts and he's in DC, and that might have been the only reason. Like, if we get rid of him, we have to get rid of him in 2 franchises, and we're just not going to deal with it. But now it's like this guy is now. It's like instead of being on the Fantastic Beasts promotion tour, you're getting restraining orders. Like, and these aren't artistic restraining orders. These are mental health restraining orders. It's like, hey, you need to go somewhere. Like, I don't care. Whoever's writing Fantastic Beasts,
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. Last movie, right? Okay, he's done because when we're going to this new Flashpoint, post Flashpoint, somehow Ezra Miller should not be the Flash as well. Yeah, I don't care how we do it.
People are clamoring for Grant Gustin. They want Grant Gustin to be the new Flash for the movies.
Hey, I'm okay with that, but it needs to happen. It should have happened before. Like, there shouldn't have been the DC extended universe should never have happened. It should have been a continuation off the Arrowverse, but they didn't want to do that. So all of their problems stem from them being stupid. Like, this just like straight up. Like, we can beat that dead horse, but it's literally for them being stupid and thinking we are going to continue to pay their bills for being stupid.
I don't know. Chief went to go see the Batman, so you know.
Hey, the Batman's supposedly the greatest Batman ever because I didn't see Chris Nolan's Batman. Okay.
I'll keep it brief with you. If Ezra Miller Black movies across the DC universe, you said they would have canned him. You done on a woman.
I mean, but they can Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts. I don't know what the difference is here. And there's video evidence of Ezra doing it.
You know, Johnny Depp, because there was real domestic violence. This is the height of the Me Too thing. Well, understandable, right? Ezra Miller should have canned. He's got 2 incidents on his belt right now. I understand why they would gloss over the first. I'm not condoning it, of course, but I understand because of those factors, right? But I'm not just throwing this race card. This is not a race card being played. It's a reality.
No, that's fact, man.
He was a black man. They would have terminated him.
I kind of feel like Ezra wouldn't be in this position anyway if Ezra were black.
No discussion, he would have been terminated because we can't have that. We can't have a star in our franchises going around either A, putting his hands on people, or B, threatening people and getting arrested. It's bad for the brand. It's bad. So now you have this to your franchises, tied to your movies. Do you really want that? And now Warner Brothers had to have an emergency meeting. There's no emergency meeting to have. Get rid of him. He's obviously got something going on up here that's not working. So you don't need that rubbing off on your films, your co-stars, any of it. The fans. What if some fan approaches him on the street and he says, you got a Lady Gaga t-shirt on. I don't like that. And he just starts choking the hell out of him. Man, what's next?
Well, I mean, that basically already happened.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
Like, you got to put this guy on the red carpet. What what is his actions going to be on the red carpet? We don't know. That's a problem.
That's that. The DC universe is a flaming trash heap, and I think they should just be like, let's take a pause on Flashpoint. We shot it, but it's gonna be worth way more damage, trouble than it's worth if we put this movie out with Ezra as the headliner. So I guess that leads us to that magical point of the week, fellas. Because, I mean, somehow we can talk about DC for an entire show. Shocking, I know. Now it's that magical time. Who are your nominees for Dummy of the Week? Bro, I'm going to shake things up and have you go first.
Well, I'm going to say my Dummy of the Week is whoever came up with that leaked draft rumor of the DC universe. If that is actually if somebody even went on their keyboard and typed out more than that fleshed out, they are an idiot. Because to even waste more than 5 seconds coming up with that garbage, you are a complete moron. So whoever came up with that, unless that is just a random keyboard warrior, they are the Dummy of the Week.
Okay, mine is myself, because I knew Winning Time is a work of fiction featuring the names of people that I am deep fans of as a Lakers fan. It's such a heavily fictionalized version where 5 minutes in, I'm like, wait a second, I can't believe any of this show. And it got to the point, Javon, where I stopped trusting so much. They were showing Magic screwing everything in sight. I'm like, well, I don't know. It's on the show. Maybe Magic didn't really sleep around with a bunch of women. Like, that's how much this show made me distrust everything on it. And it made me think, if it's on the show, it must not have actually happened in real life. Magic just met one girl, had an encounter, and that was it. That was his entirety of his time in LA. He met one girl, and it went south for him, and that was it. Just because the show has him all over the world. So that's my take. And that's why I'm the Dummy of the Week. Because I'm like, do I trust anything on Winning Time? Who's your nominee, good sir?
I'll say this about Winning Time, Jeff. It's wildly entertaining, if nothing else, right?
Absolutely.
And they try to keep, there's some accuracies as well as a lot of made for TV, but it makes for good viewing. My Dummy of the Week is whoever decided to have that young rapper that died from our area, to have his body propped up in a nightclub, or I don't know what you even call
Wait. They did a Weekend in Bernie's.
Oh, Jeff, you heard this? Oh, Javon, tell him the whole story. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Please.
And that's the thing, man. I'm not trying to make light of the young brother. His death or anything like that. His rapper's name is Gunu, I think. No, I'm old. I don't know. But he's from the DMV area, and young and up and coming guy got shot and killed, sadly. But they had this service like 2 weeks after he died. Well, not even a service. It was just like a club, and he was propped up. The video was online. Propped up, dressed up like he would be if he was hanging out or going to the club himself. Dead.
So this is not the emoji dead. He's actually dead.
No, he's outside the casket.
His dead body is propped up like he's standing there like, yeah, good show, y'all. I don't know why this is a thing, because I've seen it before. I don't know why this is a thing. Like, what are we getting out of this as people, as the family, as party goers? Like, why? This is silly, and it's incredibly morbid. Let this person rest. Have to prop their dead body up in a nightclub.
They had to move it from one location because they sold too many tickets to the event.
That man. I'm sad to know that they sold too many tickets so people can come up and take like their selfie or take a picture of this dead person's body and put it on their Insta and do all the fake emotion things people do. Prayer hands.
Gone too soon, bro.
Power. Yeah, like what? Why? This isn't for him. He's dead. Some of the dead the right way. This ain't it.
Hey, Javon, if he retweets them though, watch out.
He did get a horse-drawn carriage the next day too. So,
I mean, okay, but
come on now. Okay. And no one decided to take him to the beach. I'm just upset. I'm just really upset.
Okay. This isn't okay.
Where was Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman?
Call okay. Whatever internet. This is the hill I'm dying on.
Chief, who's your nominee, sir?
Just wanted to let you know when I die, I want y'all to take me to the bar, put some Moscow mules in front of me, man, and every once in a while just put one to my mouth and let it tilt down.
I'm taking your body to the Giants stadium, so you can be the first person.
I don't have Giant gear on, man. Just, when they got them fake candy eyes.
Nah, dude, because I want the headline to be Giants played so bad, fan died.
My nominees going to continue to be the nominees, man. The Smiths. Always the Smiths. It's going to continue to be the Smiths. You know what I mean? Until Kanye come out of whatever hold he's going to be in these last few weeks, it'll be the Smiths.
Kanye is very upset about Will, by the way.
I'm sure Kanye's waiting. Kanye's bird hand rubbing, waiting for his reemergence.
Like a diabolical comic book villain.
Right. Not from DC though. Not from DC though. So yeah, apparently Bad Boys is on hold. Will's Netflix movie's on hold. They're waiting for everything to die down, the aftermath of the shock heard around the world. And now Jace told me some of the co-stars in his movies are dropping out because they don't want to be associated with the Smith brand. I heard that Jada is gonna have a dead rapper on her show, Red Table Talk, next week.
He's not actually dead yet, Jeff.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I know what's not on hold. Alcina is writing a book, a tell-all book.
Who is?
Mr. Entanglement himself, Jada's. I guess.
Oh, cool. Maybe she can have him on Red Table Talk to discuss it, and Will can join in as well after he reads the book. Yeah, after he reads the book.
Cuckold, why not?
Right.
Was a cuckold, why not?
Well, fellas, that was an enlightening and entertaining show as always. Thank you for joining me, and we will do the topic that I was going to talk about because, believe it or not, Lyle's Movie Files is celebrating 10 years. It's the 10-year anniversary of Lyle's Movie Files. And we're going to start kicking off something very special with this esteemed podcast to commemorate that. And we'll tell you more about that on next week's show. But for now, thank y'all out there for watching. This episode of the House Movie Files has been filed.